Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everyone, welcome on in. Happy Thursday to you. Thanks for being with us on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, thanks for being with us. I can't tell you how hilarious it is. If this is a day, if you haven't tuned in to this program via the YouTube channel, KSL Sports is the YouTube you can find us on. We're streaming all day, every day, okay? All the shows. Great. Now, on Thursdays, JJ gets into his civvies. You know what I mean? Got to get the regular clothes on.
I go casual for sure.
Well, you got to be
take the opportunity when I can.
This is it's like your witness protection program gear, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
JJ shows up, puts the hat on, it looks in no direction of anybody, and I'm cool with it because then I'm like, good. Now we're kind of dressed the same, because every day he shows up with a tie on, shows up with a. Anyway, I had to go to this meeting with a bunch of our sales colleagues today, and they made me wear a tie. So we have flipped the script today. JJ's got his hoodie and his mammoth hat on, and I've got my bald head.
It looks like we
screaming
dressed
at
up
everyone
as each other.
I know
for
it's
Halloween.
Yeah. No, it's good. I every once in a while I got to remind people.
You clean up well.
SaltLakeCityFatLoss.com.
Yeah. Hello. Somebody walked in, like, dang, dude, you know what?
Great. I got a lot of compliments for you and I because they're like, hey, so tell me about that program. I'm like a walking testimonial over here, so it's good. We got lots to talk about today. We have championship weekend in the NFL we got to get to. We have what might have been my favorite Mammoth game in the history of this franchise here in Salt Lake City.
Incredible. Incredible last night.
Am I being hyperbolic?
I mean, maybe, but that's okay today.
But I mean, it's only 2 seasons here.
It's okay today. No one's going to correct you today because everybody that's a fan of the Mammoth is still glowing after what they witnessed last night.
Yes.
That was incredible. This is why we wanted to have NHL in Utah. What happened last night is why you wanted to have the NHL. That team delivered last night. Just an incredible comeback, incredible fight. Nick Schmaltz will never have to pay for a drink in this town ever again. He just got somebody that plays for the Flyers probably cut or sent out of the league.
Oh,
I bet a trade's coming any day now.
That poor guy. Now, but listen, you know what?
But geez, lay off that guy. Nick Schmaltz made an incredible play, didn't quit. And for Clayton Keller to do what he did at the end of that game, the heroics, the comeback, oh my gosh, goosebumps. The place was on fire. It was just amazing. We are hockey town, man. That was fun.
Hey, did you feel the earthquake today?
4.7.
Did you feel it?
I missed it.
My kids said they did.
I missed it. I think a lot of people did.
I was up. So look, we had an earthquake here in town. Last time we had an earthquake.
4.7 outside of Evanston, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Up in the Uintas.
I'll tell you, like the last time we had an earthquake that hit here, you remember the circumstances there? Rudy Gobert had just gotten COVID.
Yeah.
Our world was melting down.
Wasn't the epicenter in Magna?
And everyone felt it along the Wasatch Front. And it was wild. And I'm just like, please don't be a harbinger of weirdness to come with this earthquake. So
8:49 a.m. local time, 4.7 magnitude earthquake.
Yeah, wild.
Just 25 miles away from Evanston.
One of my kids goes, "That's not even that big." And I was like, "What do you know about earthquakes? You know nothing. Tell me more about the Richter scale."
Well, they lived through the Great Magna earthquake of 2020.
Of 20, yeah.
So they know earthquakes.
I remember 20.
Their generation's very well aware.
Let's kick off the program here. We've got some NFL to kick off the show with right off the bat. Let's get to the cut, and we'll jump in right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We can't make fun of Magna the rest of the day.
Why would you make fun of Magna? I love Magna.
Yeah, but there's a lot of earthquakes come out of there.
Well, the big one.
Oh, yeah.
The big one.
Oh, of 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it. Joining us on the program right now, Bryan DeArdo, NFL writer for CBS Sports on the program. Bryan, thanks for being with us again, man.
No problem. I will say I've never experienced an earthquake, and I hope I never do.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the type that you want to experience where you go, ooh, fun, and then you move on with your day.
A 4.7 is kind of just a fun ride, Brian.
Yeah. I thought I had a flat tire.
Deal.
I thought I had a flat tire one time. Seattle gets them periodically where I grew up, and I thought I had a flat tire. I pulled over, and I was like, oh, the car's still moving. So it is a little bit freaky, but we're making it. Thanks for asking, Brian. We're making it through today.
Thanks for thinking of us today here in Utah.
Let's talk about these conference championship games. This one shook out, I think, like a lot of people may have thought. I mean, you got who would have not picked the Seahawks and Rams being together? That's an absolute possibility in that game, although the Bears put up quite the fight. The Broncos are playing great football right now. They shot down Josh Allen and the Bills. They deserve to be there, and they're hosting a game this weekend. Without Bo Nix, though, I love to hear how coaches approach this. And Sean Payton has approached it by saying, oh, no, he's awesome. He's going to rip it. And the rest of us are looking sideways at him. What's the reality of what the Broncos fans are getting from Bo Nix to Jarrett Stidham?
Well, I also love that Sean Payton now is clearly created bulletin board material in New England for saying that Bronco fans will have 2 weeks to rest their vocal cords between Sunday and the Super Bowl. More than one Patriot player has already spoken out about that comment. So I think the thing with Sean Payton, and I've kind of picked up on this during his run with Denver, he wants to be Bill Parcells so bad because that's his mentor, right? And Bill Parcells loved, playing games with the media. You love making kind of comments like this. And I think he's trying to send a message to his team that, hey, I'm not giving you an out here if we lose this game. It doesn't matter who's quarterback. Our expectation is that we're going to win this game. And speaking of Parcells, he did win a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, Jeff Hostetler. I'm going way back in time, 1990, but it has, and it has happened since where backup quarterbacks have gotten to and won the Super Bowl. Actually, more often than not, have backup quarterbacks won the Super Bowl. They're 8-4 in such games. But I think with Stidham, I wouldn't expect much different, to be honest. I think the thing that they're going to miss is Nix's ability to roll out and improvise and extend plays out of the pocket. Now, that obviously leads to injuries like the one that he had at the end of the game, which you wonder behind closed doors if Sean Payton is now regretting that decision to keep him moving around like that. But I think Stidham is, he's what a lot of backups are. He can complete a high percentage of passes, especially when it's, inside 10, 20 yards. He's going to have to test that defense deep, though. He's going to have to here and there. But I think the biggest thing that they're going to miss is the lack of creativity and the ability to extend plays because Stidham is very, very much a system pocket quarterback.
We've already seen this matchup already this season, and the Broncos had a pretty remarkable comeback against the Patriots to get that win. What do you think would be different about this matchup, and especially with the quarterback situation? Is that Patriots defense as good as advertised? Because what they did to the Texans was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's really, really good. But I do think they're going to get a better and bigger fight. I think Stidham is, and I'm not really going on a stretch here, he's going to play better than C.J. Stroud. Like, I would obviously take C.J. Stroud any day of the week over Jarrett Stidham to win a game for me. But, I mean, he had a slew of turnovers that game a week earlier against the Steelers. He made the Patriots' job very easy. I don't expect that to be the case. Like, I'm not going to say Stidham is going to play a perfect game, but he's basically not going to give the ball to their defense numerous times. I think that – and also I think if I'm the Patriots in general, and this goes to offense and defense, I think there's a tendency when you're playing against a backup to not go full bore, to kind of let them – beat themselves. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think you go in there and you're aggressive. You put the game in his shoulders. You're aggressive on offense. You still take shots down the field. You don't go in expecting them to make mistakes and basically give you the game like Houston has. And people have been kind of taking light of New England so far and saying they've had the easiest road ever to get to this point. So I think they are highly, highly motivated to go out and perform on both sides of the ball. And, yeah, I anticipate that defense because, again, this is a matchup of maybe two of the best defenses in the NFL. Yeah. So there's bragging rights on the field for both sides, and both sides are going to want to play extremely well.
Give me your thoughts on Drake May, who's, risen to, MVP talk. I don't remember a guy who so quickly turned something, the idea of what kind of a player this guy could be, turn it right around. But what's the reality of Drake May, and what is it that he's been able to do so well to get the Patriots back to a place where Pat fans are used to seeing their team, but with a very, very different look now?
Well, I've had to eat my words. I wasn't high on him after last year, even though he made the Pro Bowl and was by and large good. And then once, I covered the game where he had, he and the Patriots offense had 5 turnovers in a Week 2 loss to the Steelers. And so that kind of reinforced my belief that I'm not really sold on this guy. But, yeah, ever since then, as you guys alluded to, he's probably going to win league MVP. If not, he's going to be second to Matthew Stafford. I think what they've done, and I'm not taking anything away from him, but Travion Henderson's emergence has really, really helped. He didn't get a lot of playing time early. I don't know if he was in the doghouse, but he just wasn't – he wasn't earning that starting job over Ramondre Stevenson. Stevenson had the fumble issues. I think that opened up the door for Henderson to have the success that he's having. Obviously, Stephon Diggs coming in has helped. But I think the biggest thing for him is he's found the delicate balancing act between taking what the defense gives you and taking shots down the field without being reckless. I think that's such a challenging thing for every quarterback to try to figure out. And the issue is, I think that was one of the biggest things for Mitch Trubisky. I thought he had a lot of talent, but he couldn't figure that out. Drake May has figured that out. And again, like I said, I think this can't be a game where you kind of pigeon-toe in. You've got to take chances. If you want to get to a Super Bowl, you can't play risk-averse. And I think that's one of Drake May's biggest strengths. However, that can lead to turnovers. And I think that for Denver, very similar to how you used to have to beat Tom Brady, put pressure on him, make him uncomfortable. That's exactly what Denver's going to try to do to Drake May.
On the other side in the NFC, what a great matchup this is. Division rivals. We got a Seahawks fan here in the room right now who can't wait for this one.
I'm not allowed to ask questions.
He has to recuse himself from this conversation right now, just as I had to do with the Broncos. I'm just kidding. We all have our favorite teams. But Rams and Seahawks, the previous 2 meetings they split, the difference was a total of 3 points. This is just – and the last game was just unbelievable. It might have been – it's hard because the Bears had such incredible games, but that Rams-Seahawks game is a nominee for the game of the year in the NFL. How do you handicap this game? Because the first 2 games are just phenomenal and so tight, and you know how well these teams know each other.
Well, I'm with you, and I got to say, I grew up a Steelers fan, and I'll admit the officiating in that Super Bowl was
suspect.
Was bad.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to watch that game or to take any joy in it because it was very much like the script was written. Jerome Bettis is going to, all that stuff. So, yeah, and then it probably cost Mike Holmgren a Super Bowl or a Hall of Fame, right? If they win that game, I think he's the first coach to win with different teams. So yeah, but I digress. I kept thinking this during the playoffs with the Rams. Had they won that Week 17 game, because they lost the Week 17 game, they made their lives very difficult.
Yeah.
They had to then go on the road, win in frigid Chicago. Albeit they didn't have earthquakes to deal with, but they had to deal with the cold weather. So I think for them, they are motivated to show that they are the best team. And you wonder, again, with Sam Darnold with his oblique injury, it didn't look like it affected him last week, but there still are question marks, right? Especially if this game's close and they were to hit him more than the 49ers and force him to throw. Again, he wasn't forced to do anything crazy against the 49ers, which was great for them. Charbonnet being out, though, you wonder how big of an impact that's going to be. I don't know if it'll be significant, but, hey, he's huge, right? I don't have to tell you guys this. You know this. He's great in the red zone. 12 rushing touchdowns this season? That could be a huge, huge loss for them. Like, my heart goes with the Rams, but my mind is picking Seattle. I'm going to go with my heart, though, because I just think that this Rams team, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl before the playoffs started, and I picked the Bills on the AFC side. The Bills didn't work out for me. I just think the Rams will, because as good as Sam Darnold has been this year, when it's this close of a matchup, I always just tend to go with the quarterback. I know Seattle won the last time, but I think sometimes you learn more in losses than wins. And I think for the Rams, if they have Seattle in the same situation, they're going to make sure that they finish this game. They don't leave them hanging around.
Sam Darnold wins 14 games with 2 different teams in back-to-back seasons. And this playoffs has already been a very, very different deal from last year when they were one and done against the Lions, and he didn't play particularly well. It seems like Sam Darnold's done a lot of growing up, not just because of the last 2 years, but this idea that the guy is a game manager. I'm kind of on board with that a little bit because you have such a good defense in Seattle. But what has gotten better in Sam Darnold's game from the time he was the guy seeing ghosts at the Jets to where he is now? 28 regular season wins in the last 2 seasons at a starting quarterback spot, basically coming in to bail a team out for a minute.
Well, and I think it goes back to Kevin O'Connell's quote in Minnesota that organizations fail franchise quarterbacks more than franchise quarterbacks fail organizations. I think that's just a great quote. And I think the biggest thing that is I've seen from him from afar is his confidence. I think the Jet situation really shook him. And like you said, there's that famous I'm seeing ghost Monday night game against New England. And he's not the first quarterback to struggle against the Bill Belichick defense, let's be honest. But I think it took him a while to get that confidence back. And I remember seeing him in Carolina. And I think that Carolina, when they fired their coach late in 22, I know no one really was paying attention to them. They had a nice little run there with their interim head coach. And basically the system was, or the formula was, we're going to lean on the defense and Sam Darnold's going to run the ball and be a game manager. But I just think maybe that experience, having success, really for the first time in his career, I wonder if that did something to his confidence. I would go back to that year in Carolina when I saw maybe a little bit different Sam Darnold. So I think, again, it's that. And I said this earlier when we were talking about, I think another quarterback. There's a fine line in the NFL between taking what the defense gives you and taking those calculated shots downfield. I think he's gotten so good at that. He knows when to attack a defense. I think he's reading defenses a lot better. And that you're going to get that with every single quarterback. I think the problem is in today's game, especially with you're seeing all these coaching firings, right? Like our patience for everything is now waning, right? Maybe that's because of DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever it is. We don't have patience anymore as a society. You give these guys time to grow, and they're by and large going to grow, and that's what we've seen with Sam Darnold.
You mentioned the coaching changes, a record-tying 10 coaching openings in the NFL this year. Now, not all the hires have been made. There's still going to be some that could be impactful. But based on what you've seen so far, what's the best hire of the offseason so far?
That's a really good question. I would say I would say one of the best ones that hasn't happened yet. I think Jesse Minter is going to go to the Ravens. And I think that will be a really, really good hire for both parties. I mean, I know Minter, there's this big knock that, like, you have to be everybody's looking for that next young offensive guru, right? But, Minter is a defensive guy, but I don't necessarily think that's bad. I think, again, when you are a head coach, I think your biggest quality has to be leadership and hiring really good assistants to work under you. And I think he's capable of doing that. And I think Baltimore, this might be a good injection of what they need. And really the offense, outside of Lamar being hurt and Derrick Henry, also a slow start because of the offensive line issues they had, injuries in that defense was really the issues that Baltimore had last year. So Minter can come in and help that defense. I think other than that, I like Stefanski in Atlanta because, again, I think they need some offensive help, and he's got to they need him to figure out the quarterback situation with Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins. I'd like Harbaugh with the Giants. I'm starting to warm up to it. My initial reaction was I don't really like it. I'm starting to like it a lot more now, and I think it's going to make sense if he does have final say on personal decisions, which contractually it does appear that he has that.
As you see this thing shake out, what is the gut feeling on a Super Bowl matchup, and how do you think that those results get there this weekend? Considering both of these games have interesting storylines, but obviously a backup quarterback coming in the AFC game, and then the NFC game with a third time these teams playing each other, and the fiery back and forth between the Rams and the Seahawks. How does this one shake out for you?
Well, before I answer, it does appear that we have some breaking news and it looks like Minter has been hired as the Ravens coach.
How about that?
Well, either could have looked really good or really bad right now. But anyways,
while we were talking about it happened, huh?
Well,
How about
you know
that?
what? I'll say this: I'm glad we're doing that before my predictions, which are inevitably going to be wrong. Hey, I'm gonna
break some news.
I'm gonna change.
Yeah,
I'm gonna change my pick. I picked earlier the Patriots. I'm going to go against it. There is some about this Broncos team. Like, they're like that bug that you try to kill and you put him in the toilet and you flush and he keeps jumping out, right? That's a terrible analogy. That's why I'm not a radio guy like you guys. That's so bad. But I'm going to pick them. Like, every time you think they're dead, they come back. And so it's like, I don't know what to do with them. I thought they were dead last week. They won. Sean Payton's got this whole Parcells thing going and he's predicting they're going to win. Like, I don't know. I could just and I kind of flashed back to the 2013 and 15 AFC Championship games, like when they won and I mean weird things happen in Denver. I don't know if it's the altitude or what's going on there. What's legal now? I'm going to pick them. NFC. I'm going to go with. I'm going to change my pick again. I'm going to pick it. I'm going to go with Seattle.
Yeah.
I just think. Again, I keep doubting Sam Darnold, and he keeps proving me wrong, and others. And you might see, another Jim Plunkett situation. A high draft pick didn't work out with his original team, finds glory somewhere else, and McDonald has been such an awesome coach for them. I mean, he should get more Coach of the Year acknowledgments, which he won't, which makes it a dumb award to win because the best guys never win it anyway. So. Yeah, so let's go with Seattle and Denver, the exact two picks I didn't make for the website, which is great.
We've never had 4 different picks during one segment. And you did all the convincing yourself, Bryan. We didn't do anything.
Yes.
You just fully flipped on yourself, and all it took was some breaking news during the middle of the segment for you to be able to go, you know what? I'm going to think about this differently. So the best part is that these games are going to be I think they're going to be great games. I really am hoping because, when we start to whittle it down, and the Super Bowl sometimes doesn't deliver on a great game, and that's fine, but the playoffs have been pretty killer so far. And so Bryan DeArdo, NFL writer for CBS Sports, you can read his byline there, get everything right there. Finally, Bryan, before we let you loose here, who's going to win the MVP?
Well, I'll make 4 different choices. No, it's Stafford. I'm going to go with Stafford. I think he's been kind of the front runner all year. I think, CMC, Christian McCaffrey, just being in the running is pretty significant. But no, I think it's for sure gonna be Matt Stafford.
Look at that! Our Rams fan producer is enjoying that as well.
You picked our teams to go to the Super Bowl, and you get the MVP going in the booth.
Everybody gets something.
Everybody wins.
Somebody must have sent you an email or something to let you know. You're always welcome back, Bryan. We love you.
Bryan DeArdo, CBS Sports, covers the NFL. Bryan, thanks again, man. We appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you, guys.
There you go. I know he said that was a bad analogy, and he's like, "No, you radio guys are better." Ironically, it turned into great radio. The bug in the toilet?
Yeah.
The bug in the toilet analogy now will be very, very important going forward on this program. I'm going to bring it up every week. They're your very typical bug in the toilet situation, JJ.
I think we got a new catchphrase here on JJ and Alex.
All right.
Got a little bug in the toilet situation going on here.
So now, hold on. Minter did get hired?
He did, yeah. It's official.
Look at that.
Jesse Minter's the new head coach of the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. I like that it's not the usual suspects, right?
Yeah, it's some fresh blood. Of course, he was the offensive coordinator at Michigan.
Yes.
Sorry, defensive coordinator at Michigan.
Yeah.
When they won the national championship.
I'm all for some different names getting in there. And by the way, kudos to the guys who are in their 30s and doing really well. Your Liam Cohens and your Ben Johnsons of the world who get in there and have done such a great job. It allows for other franchises to go, oh yeah, superstar brainiac coach who's not the usual suspect, who's just not a retread of names, bring in someone new. So there you go. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We have more around the corner. Stick with us. We got a hot and cold coming right up. So stay here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You got to let Michael McDonald cook for a minute, right?
Absolutely, you do.
Whew. What's funny is over the years I've turned into my dad, and my dad would have on the workbench in our garage had an AM radio on it, and he would forget to turn it off all the time. So you walk through the garage and it'd be like the AM signal of by the way, these were soft hits and kind of oldies already when I was a kid.
Yacht rock and AM radio are the perfect marriage.
The audio quality. And I remember walking in and just being like, oh my gosh, Dewey Brothers again, Dad. Is this what really helps you get through your woodworking? Come on.
Now you appreciate it a little bit more.
Now
the old man actually knew something, didn't he?
I get it. All right.
That's a pretty good vibe.
All right. So we're right there. Hey, it's hot and cold. That time of the day, we're able to give you the people who are hot and who's not. It's an interesting edition of it. It's all brought to you by the good folks of Croft Fireplace. We appreciate them jumping on board. Brand new to the KSL Sports family. Bring warmth home with Croft Fireplace. Upgrade today. Free basic installation on qualifying purchases. Just go over and visit them at Croft Fireplace, where warmth becomes home. All right, so I saw this. I like this idea of let's keep this thing going on national champions that you're not used to having on the bingo card, okay? It's easy to just get down the road of the usual suspects, right? So, great movie, by the way. If you're
Yes.
wondering about it. Napolis, you familiar with Usual Suspects? You got to watch it. You'll like it. Timeless. Come on. All right. So,
Kaiser Sose?
Kaiser Sose.
No? All right.
All right.
He's got homework to do.
So college football's next national champion. I wanted to have a discussion about like the people who are on the rise, because I'll tell you right now, I think yesterday, speaking of not hot, very cold, is Alabama, who are 20-8 in the past 2 seasons.
Their reign is over.
Is it?
Yes.
King Saban?
Yeah.
That because he's not around anymore.
The king
that's
is
it?
not on the throne anymore. They're not. The NIL and transfer portal has not helped them because they don't have a monopoly on talent anymore. And you're seeing that talent spread out to other teams. You're not even seeing Alabama as the top team in the SEC anymore. I mean, I thought Ole Miss was better than Alabama this year, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think their reign is over.
So, interestingly enough, I'm gonna go with one of the ones that I saw in this very article because I think that I believe in the guy. I think, and I'm gonna go with Oregon winning their first national title in the next couple of years.
That's an easy one.
It's an easy one because I think Dan
is.
but it's been so embarrassing the last 2 years in the college football playoff. Like everybody immediately just dismisses Oregon, and this year even more so. Right? You know, like last year. They had such a bad go in the playoff that you went, okay, well,
But they lost to the eventual national champion.
yeah, I get it.
It was just a bad draw and a bad matchup for them.
Yeah,
it happens.
But at some point, they would have had to have faced him and tried to beat him. If it was in the final, if it was in the semis, whatever.
But if it was in the national championship game, your position on that would have been much different. When Oregon loses after having a bye to Ohio State, when they were the team that was the champion in the Big Ten, it felt like Oregon failed. And I think that's ridiculous.
So, Oregon, I think, is a pick that you need to have in your back pocket. I think that Vanderbilt was a cute story for a minute. I don't think you're going to see much out of Vandy the rest of our days again. I don't know.
I like their coach a lot.
I agree.
Is really good.
Yeah.
He's an alum. He's got things figured out. He's doing things there that have never been done before. It's in Nashville. It's a great school. And if they're able to open up their resources and be able to do what you need to do in today's college football, there's a void in the SEC right now. I think Ole Miss probably takes a step back without Lane Kiffin there. I think Alabama's not the same. Who takes up that void? Why not Vanderbilt? Why not Vanderbilt? And you saw what they did by going out and getting a great quarterback. And I think they could even do better. I think he's a great story. Diego Pavia is a great story, but I think there were some limitations. There's a reason why he came up through New Mexico Military Institute to New Mexico State. You are now Vanderbilt, and you've elevated, and you've got people's notice around the country. You can go out and get better quarterback talent to go with what you're already building there. I disagree. I think Vanderbilt is built to last because they've got a great head coach, and they're finally investing in the sport when in the past they just didn't care.
So I'm going to throw out another one here that isn't on the list necessarily. Do you think Utah could be in that conversation in the next 3 or 4 years? I think it's going to take a minute longer with Scally at the helm. Not because he's not good enough, but I think because you are going to have to come around. I don't think the talent is as good, certainly at the offensive line. And I think that this coaching staff's going to have to get their footing before I think we'd feel good about something along those lines. But what about a Texas A&M? Did you see enough out of them to have them roll up and be a team that no one sees winning a national championship and then they end up doing it? Because I think that they won a natty maybe in the 30s. You know what I mean? Like that. But Texas A&M, ever since I was a kid, has been a team that is always just up there in the conversation, but they've always been little brother to Texas. Can Texas A&M be that team that could also be one of those. And again, it's kind of a semi superpower, but they're never invited to the party. It seems like. So I'm wondering where they're going to be at in the next couple of years.
So yeah, Texas A&M technically has won a national championship, but it was in 1939.
Yeah,
so
30s. Yeah,
I feel like you can throw them in this list because in the modern era they have not come close. But I still actually think you're talking about the wrong Texas team.
Uh-oh.
I think Texas Tech is the more likely Texas team. I think the list you're looking at, they threw out SMU as well. It's in Dallas. They got they got some deep pocketed boosters, but so does everybody else.
It helps being in the ACC, I think, in that sense, because I mean they snuck in the very first year in the
They've
college
already made
playoff.
the playoffs,
Yeah.
so give them credit for that in their first year in Power 4 football.
Is it Lashley who's the head coach still?
Yep.
Yeah,
Brett Lashley.
I think
Don't you feel like Texas Tech? I know no one's talking about them because they were a dud in the playoff. And unfortunately, I just think they didn't have the right quarterback. Again, same problem with, I think Vanderbilt could take another level even though they had a good quarterback. For Texas Tech, their quarterback didn't show up in the playoff, and it showed against a really, really, really good Oregon team. Texas Tech, though, is not going away, and Texas Tech is that team I'm looking at that does not have a national championship that can take the next step because we've already seen what they were able to do because of their resources. They're not far away. And don't be surprised if Texas Tech goes undefeated in the regular season next year. They don't play Utah. They don't play BYU. They're going to be, again, in the top 4 in the country in the college football playoff rankings.
Let me throw out big names, and you tell me if they are going to win a national championship in the next 2 or 3 years, okay? Georgia.
No.
Texas.
No.
That took a while. You're giving Sark too much credit, I think.
I had to think because we've been hard on Arch, but he's young. People forget he's still a young quarterback, and they do have talent there. So I had to pause. I think the SEC is going to struggle to win a national championship over the next 4 or 5 years because
you hate to see it.
The Big Ten has Oregon, who I think is going to be good. I think that Matt Campbell can get Penn State going.
I think so, too.
And I just think there's too many good Big Ten teams that's going to keep the SEC out of there. And you start to see teams like Texas Tech emerge. Miami is back. Another ACC team could pop up. You mentioned SMU. Let's throw out BYU.
We don't have the guts to say some of these teams. Like BYU, I don't have the guts to say it because I just don't.
Why not?
I don't know because Indiana.
Because it feels like we're pandering to our audience?
No.
I think somebody in the South could look at the situation and be like, hey, BYU.
Yeah, why not those guys? Yeah.
What BYU's doing in basketball is pretty impressive. Now they're going to start doing that in football. They got a young quarterback that's back. All those players are back.
Lots of talent coming in.
That's a team we need to pay attention to. They're going to be top 15, and you're going to go roll that Notre Dame's going to roll into town next October, everybody, and that's going to be a top 10 matchup.
I'm not allowing my brain to break out of the usual team. I'm giving you second tier teams who are actually pretty good. But I mean, the reality of this is it'd be us 4 years ago predicting trying to predict Indiana winning a national championship 2 years prior to when they did. 2 years before they hired Cignetti, for example. Excuse me. That'd be like saying, I see the Rutgers Scarlet Knights coming out of the Big Ten, and we all have a little funny chuckle about it. But it's the equivalent. Rutgers is actually a lot better of a team during my lifetime than Indiana ever was. Right?
Let me give Indiana's records after the pandemic to give you really a perspective on just how incredible the last 2 years were. 2021. 2-10, 22, 4-8, 2023, 3-9, and that was under a head coach in Tom Allen that was considered a success there because he got them to 8 wins in 2019.
Oh wow! They're like, we're going to extend this. We're going to extend this year. We're going to extend this guy.
He took them to back-to-back bowls, and they're like, this guy's the best.
Okay, I mean
that gives you perspective on just how improbable and incredible and out of nowhere Indiana was.
Anybody else from the Big 12 that you could be surprised by? Does TCU speak to you at all?
Out of the Big 12, they've been there. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, they were there 3 years ago.
We forget that TCU was there recently in a national championship game. That was it came in the middle of the night, and then it hasn't come back since.
In the most embarrassing national championship game that we've ever witnessed.
Fair, but they beat a really good team in the semifinal.
Yeah. Was it Michigan?
Yeah. That was an incredible run for TCU. Why not? So you're in the Big 12 now, and I didn't get a chance to answer your Utah question. Like you, I have to wait and see. I have to wait and see how this staff is, what they do with the players that are left in the program. But more importantly, I gotta sit back and wait and see how this new private equity thing works out for them and how it helps them get a competitive advantage. Because look, this is an arms race. Well, every team we've mentioned in this conversation is armed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
With money, with resources. They can go out and get who they need. They can pay their coaches whatever they need. Utah, in order to be in that conversation and to be in that mix, needs to be armed. Does this private equity situation help them do that? Without it, it's just a dream.
Yeah, no idea. I have no idea what the money is going to look like and how they're going to operate.
That's the reality of the new world of college football.
It's crazy.
And trust me, that Indiana, oh shucks, we only had 8 4-star guys.
Signetti went right up to the podium and goes, "We didn't have as much NIL as you guys think."
They
like, okay,
they had
down.
the resources.
Jeez.
They brought in Mendoza as a transfer portal. He went into the transfer portal. Come on, they had resources.
Yeah.
They went out and got dudes, and you could tell.
Negotiate.
And we did things differently here at Indiana. I'm just a genius. That's all.
I mean, there's some of that.
I'm not taking that away.
Yeah.
But again, if Indiana doesn't have Big Ten money in Indiana, do you understand how big of a deal? I mean, you talked Indiana's alumni is just insane. Like they have so many former students.
Hey,
their resources are vast.
Kansas, you're up next to be the basketball school to win a natty. Come on. Yeah, right. Nobody feels good to say Kansas, but that's the same plane we're talking about here. So, all right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We're anticipating at 4 o'clock a conversation with Bear Tourney, head coach of the Mammoth, after an awesome 7-game homestand that produced 13 out of 14 points. My heaven, it sounds crazy to say it, especially knowing when they were down 3-0 at the beginning of that second period last night.
And 4-2 in the third period. Just a wild night, and it was awesome if you're a Mammoth fan. So we'll have Bear coming up in just a little while. Hey, would you rather right around the corner? 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real-life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the show here today. Coming up in just a few minutes, Andre Tourney is going to join us, head coach of the Utah Mammoth. We keep getting him right after these big wins, and frankly, after 7 games at home, they've been getting a lot of wins. 6-0-1 in their homestand over 7 games, points every night, 2 points most of the nights. So great spot for them to be in. I thought that we were going to see that team. Well, it was a good homestand, pretty decent homestand. That was where I was at mentally after the first 4 minutes of the game. Where it was 2-0 already. I was like, all right, it's good. It's good. They had a good homestand. 6 wins, that's good. Or 5 wins, that's good.
They did all right.
Yeah, no. Instead, it gave us one of the most dramatic and fun times of the year. We were just talking at the top of the hour with Bryan DeArdo, and throw out fandom. What's the better actual football game to watch this weekend?
Rams Seahawks.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it myself, but
I want to see the last game they played again, this time for a spot in the Super Bowl. That game was unbelievable.
What's interesting, this is why they probably should have been hoping for the Bears, is that Seahawks defense is awesome. They give up 15 points a year or 15 points a game.
Yeah.
But they give up 35 a game to the Rams. Like the Rams have them kind of cracked a little bit.
Well, they know their defense better than anybody else in the league.
That's why it's a little bit scary as a Seahawks fan. But Lumen Field going to be rocking, man. That's going to be a crazy place. Hey, just a little tip to the Rams. Maybe don't kick right to Rashid Shaheed. I don't know. Or do. You know what? Or do. Because there's guys who are like, they ain't getting by us, man. I hope they have that attitude.
He was the best trade deadline.
The cool and the great story. You go from absolute trash of a team during the middle of the season to go into possibly the Super Bowl.
Pretty cool.
Phenomenal. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Bear Tourney next. Stay here, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.